In this video, I'm going to share 3 principles and 3 strategies I adhere to cultivate insane mental toughness as an entrepreneur. Master this and your journey will be much easier than the average. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Leon Castillo, founder of Selfmastered. We're a high-performance training company that helps entrepreneurs scale their businesses by solving their silent bottleneck, their own performance. We transform the unproductive, overwhelmed, and focused entrepreneurs into laser-focused business athletes that can achieve in one day what they previously achieved in 1 week. Today I want to talk about mental toughness in entrepreneurship, which is undoubtedly one of the best predictors of success in entrepreneurship if you look at the science. But how can you cultivate it? Well, first of all, what is mental toughness? Mental toughness is your ability to withstand damage, to make sure that whatever happens to you, you do not deviate and you keep dog-headed towards the goal that you set for yourself. The more damage you're able to sustain, the better it will be for you in the long term, because there's no such thing as building great things without enduring big periods of suck, essentially, right? So the tougher you become, the more callous your mind is, the easier it's going to be for you to keep doing the thing that needs to get done in order to get where you want to get. Now, I'm gonna share 6 mental strategies, right? It's a framework that essentially is a mindset that you need to embrace. But if you truly want to start in the mental toughness journey and you've never done anything to strengthen it, I suggest you look into the work of David Goggins, which is an endurance athlete, ex-Navy SEAL, that says something that is very true. That one of the quickest ways of developing mental toughness is doing something that sucks a lot every single day. Ideally, right after you wake up, right? So if you have never tried to become mentally tough, just do as he suggests. Get out of bed very early in the morning, 5, 6 a.m. and go for a run, like very long run, or go to the gym, or do whatever it is that you don't like to do, that you truly don't like, but builds character and mental toughness. So that's the low-hanging fruit that you can start doing right now if you don't do it. I highly vouch for his method. What I'm going to share today is more on the mental side. It's more like a framework that you have to keep front and center in your mind if you want the best results, right? So let's go for the principles. Principle number 1, you need to become the king of your own kingdom. What does that mean? It means that unless you embrace the concept of extreme ownership of all circumstance happening around you, you will not make it. The moment you assume extreme ownership, you become the king of your kingdom, the master of your reality, the captain of your destiny, then everything is your fault, is your responsibility. And that is a good thing, because you empower yourself to do whatever you need to get done to get the results you want. There's no blaming, there's no self-pity, there's nothing outside of having an intimate understanding of the reality you are navigating. Instead of just living in dreams or cultivating pipe dreams and stuff, you are rooted in reality and assuming that if the outcomes of your actions are not aligned with your expectations, that's probably because the process, the actions themselves, are just not good enough. And the first step towards becoming better is assuming that you are not good enough. So that's not a bad thing. That is a very, very good thing, right? Just like Leonidas, the Spartan king that fought and died in the Thermopylae, said that the supreme warrior virtue is contempt for death. For a top performer, the supreme virtue is contempt for mediocrity, for assuming that there's the possibility of not doing your best work, of not cultivating the highest standards, of not assuming the blame or responsibility of whatever happens to you. That's something that needs to get out of your life if you truly want to develop mental toughness. 2, cultivate self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is a psychological term that was first embraced by Albert Bandura. That essentially is your trust in your agentive capabilities, right? So it's not about who you are. It's about trusting your ability to make things happen. You trust your ability to figure things out, irrespective of circumstance. Doesn't really matter where you find yourself, doesn't really matter how skilled you are, doesn't really matter how difficult the task is. If you cultivate self-efficacy, the ability to think you can, you will most certainly can in the long term, right? So once you accept extreme ownership, the next thing you do is, all right, let's cultivate that self-efficacy. Let's make sure that I never doubt my ability to do the thing. And step number 3, sell your soul. and this is probably something that might seem too extreme, but if you look at the best of the best performers in business, in the arts, in sports, Elon Musk, Jordan, Kobe, Picasso, all of them sold their souls to their art or their practice or their craft. They sacrificed everything that was not aligned with their mission in order to become better at their craft. So they truly embraced the warrior mindset. They truly understood unless they sacrifice everything to get their goals will become a sacrifice. And this breeds mental toughness like nothing else, because every time that you are making the conscious decision of sacrificing something you like in order to have a chance of getting what you truly want, you are becoming tougher mentally. And this is super important because it's really a differentiator between those that make it and those that don't. Understanding, embracing, selling their souls to their craft and art or practice, right? So this is supremely important. These are the 3 principles. 1, become the king of your own kingdom. 2, cultivate self-efficacy. And 3, sell your soul. Only by doing these 3 things, you will be miles ahead of most people that you're competing against. But how can you make this actionable? What are the specific strategies that you can use on your day-to-day? Let's get to it. But before we share them, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on any of the juicy videos that we release every week for people like you to take themselves to the next level. Now, 3 strategies that you can implement right now to start cultivating mental toughness. 1, separate process from outcome and value process over outcome. This one is huge, right? If you truly sacrifice everything that is not essential in order to get to your goals, if you truly embrace extreme ownership and you believe you can achieve stuff, you cannot depend on the outcome in order to foster your motivation. You need to depend on the process. So every process that you undertake, everything that you do has to be attacked with maximum intensity. If you do this right, you will make very fast progress. But most people do not see this because they keep thinking about the goal, and when they do not get the goal, they judge their performance, and that stalls momentum. You need to do the opposite. You need to commit every day to nailing the process. In other words, if you want to get to your 10-year goal, you need to focus on perfecting the 3,666 days until that 10-year goal materializes. Right? If you truly embrace this strategy, you will make insane progress because you will never live for another day what you can accomplish on that very same day. So this one is huge. Process over outcome and only focus on the process. Strategy number 2, don't break the chain. Entrepreneurship is about sustaining damage. Things just happen. Suppliers do not pay. Investors don't give you the money. The market changes. So these problems are expected. So oftentimes, even if you focus on the process, you will fall by the wayside. Things will slip through the cracks and you will find yourself not operating at the peak potential. Every time you catch yourself in that situation, the only thing you need to do to keep honing this myth and working at this level is to never break the chain, to never miss twice. If you happen to have missed once, just go back to the gym, just make one more phone call, just send one more email, just talk to another supplier. Never let yourself curtail your momentum. Never allow yourself self-pity, because this one is huge. It is very easy to fall for self-pity. That supplier didn't call me, that sales call, that guy didn't have the money for the program, whatever. But that's just not how winners think. Winners keep plowing until things eventually figure themselves out. So never break the chain, don't miss twice, and keep pushing. And finally, 3, fit the myth, starve the doubt. This one is absolutely huge because every time you're hit by a negative emotion, every time something doesn't go the way it should, every time you're just not getting the results you want, you will be faced with doubts. Doubts will just show up. And if you pay attention to the doubt, that doubt will become bigger. So my advice is that starve that doubt. Don't pay attention to it. Fit the myth. Understand that nothing worth having was ever built without sacrifice and effort and toil. So fit the myth. You are building an heroic story. You are in a mission. So those doubts need to signal your commitment. Every time you're faced with a negative emotion, remember, feed the myth, starve the doubt, and refocus on the destination. So these are the 3 principles and 3 strategies that I use every single day to cultivate mental toughness. That's how week on week I become better, and irrespectively of external circumstance, I keep honing my self-management skills. I hope this was useful. Please let me know in the comments if you have heard about this before, and more importantly, if you do any of these things already. I would love to know. See you in the next video.